Dun-dun-dun. Little fix of my life. This is why there's a pre-show. DJ CEO in the building, baby. Oh my gosh, what's good? You know what? Do you want to be on my pre-show? We go live with our DJ CEO. Dun dun dun. Da da da. This is the whole music. This is the whole music. DJ CEO.
What's up, brother?
What's good, baby?
How are you, man?
I'm very good, my man. I'm very, very good. I haven't talked to you in years and years and years.
Years. I think the last time I saw you, no lie, might have been inside this lounge or club called Wish 26.
Wow.
And I think you had just started doing like commercials. So I think like you were on like a Verizon commercial or something.
Yes.
And we ran into each other. So that's well over 10 years.
Yeah, heavy in there. And then now you're a big fucking DJ now. You're like making money as a DJ, which seems probably as insane as making money playing pretend. How the fuck did that happen?
Well, I think so. I started DJing like just hobby wise, back in like 97, 98.
Mm-hmm.
And then around, but I went to school with television and film, so I did all that, came out, worked at BT and all the networks. And then around 2006, I went full time, still living in New York. And then my wife and I moved out here in Vegas 5 years ago. So.
Wow. Shout out to Dynamics. I'm going to be shouting, just so you know, I'm going to be shouting out random people who are on my stream during this. Jarrell, me and him went to school together, I think, PS11, right? Were you at PS11?
PS11. We might have even done preschool together. I feel like you have me like by a year or so.
Maybe. I feel like you
beat me. But we definitely did go to PS11.
Yeah, I feel like you beat me for class clown one time, and I was like really angry about it. I was like very annoyed.
Well, that sounds about right. We both were definitely eager to steal attention. So that's But we're entertainers. That's what we do.
We are entertainers. We're making money. We were super nerds. We both went to PS11. For those that don't know, this is my man Jarrell from PS11 days back in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Fort Greene, Clinton Hills. Yep. We were in what they called ET, exceptionally talented. What was it like being a nerd black kid in Brooklyn?
It was cool because I feel like all of us were nerds. Like it wasn't like how they make it seem in the movies where like the nerds are the minority. Like in Brooklyn, like even like the drug dealers were Jesus. Mm-hmm. So like it wasn't like, oh, like this person is in the street and is stupid, or this person is an athlete and they're stupid. No, everybody was intelligent that we hung out with anyway. Yeah. That's what our circle was. So
yes.
I mean, growing up in Brooklyn is the greatest thing that could ever happen to us. Period.
That's what I say, man. Love growing up in Brooklyn. And what are you doing in Vegas now? What is it? Do you have like a residency? What the fuck is that?
No. I have residencies all over the place. Of course, I'm not DJing now.
Yeah.
Because everything is closed. They're doing like a slow rollout, but they're for certain they're going to shut down soon because the cases have been spiking since they opened up the hotels and the casino.
Yep. What a surprise!
But it's not. Yeah. What a shocker! Who saw that coming? But we I've been doing what a lot of us have been doing, just kind of entertaining via Instagram Live and kind of staying in connection with people via social media. So, but yeah, I mean, prior to this, I had a couple, like 5 or 6 residencies out here and continue to travel. But what's really cool, and you probably didn't see this, I put this in the comments. So now, of course, I'm in Vegas. Now I'm doing New York radio. So I'm on this new station in New York called 108 Soul. And do you remember Eunice Franklin?
Yeah, a little bit. Little black girl. She was at the time.
Right, she was. She is actually a jock on the station.
Really?
We just reconnected today, this morning.
Dude, so many of us have done so many big things. I just was on, I don't know if you remember Chloe Hilliard.
Yeah, Chloe. I just interviewed her for my podcast.
Oh, see, I love how we show Brooklyn love, baby. Brooklyn love all day.
Yeah.
I just did her show, Chloe Across America. where she sort of,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she sort of talks about the state of events and things like that, and it's really awesome. I love that I think I checked a Facebook group, and there was like a picture of a bunch of us there, and everyone was talking about how we were doing each other's shows. What is this podcast that you have?
So I have a podcast called The Loop, and now that I mentioned that, I have to get you on there. So The Loop is it's a show. Initially, it was just about more of an educational platform, me educating folks about culture, about particularly our culture, DJ culture, hip hop culture, but Black culture at large. But now it's more of just all encompassing. And so I had stopped it for a little while, but COVID and the quarantine has allowed me to reinvent it. So now it's interview. Before it was just me talking.
Yeah.
And so now it's like this. It's not live though. I do it on Zoom and then I edit it on YouTube. I interview just folks in the industry. Most folks that I've gotten a hold of are friends of mine or within my circle. So like I got Tracy Lee. He's a Howard grad like myself. My friend Ashley, who I went to Howard with, she's the vice president of development at WeTV. I did Ralph McDaniels, Cookie Gonzalez, Sky Zoo. So I'm getting and I did Chloe. So, most of these people are within my circle, but they're people who are definitely making moves and doing some big things in the industry. And then we tie it all into culture and purpose and mission. So where it's like, oh, things like that. Ask you like, why did you become an actor? And like, what drove you to do this? Why do you keep doing it? What do you feel your purpose as an actor is? We get into like deep stuff like that. So it's called The Loop. It lives on YouTube. The handle on IG is Loop Podcast, but it lives on YouTube for now. So
got it. Now, how did you become a DJ? Like, how did you go from just DJing as a hobby to DJ as a career? Did you study under Paris Hilton or what?
No, not quite. So like I said, I started back in like 97, 98 or so. And what happened was a friend of mine, another friend, a mutual friend of ours, you probably remember Chris Ellis.
Okay.
Yeah, so his stepdad had just randomly showed me a video of DJ Jazzy Jeff. And when I saw that, I immediately was like, boom, like this is what I want to do. I didn't know there would be a career. I was just like, I just want to do that. And then, I just, fortunate enough, there were older cats around me that DJ'd and they allowed me to learn under them and be under their wing and practice and do all that type of stuff. And then, after, like I said, it was just more of a hobby. I was in TV. I started doing like after work parties and stuff like that. It was cool. But once I got to a point where I was kind of over TV, over production, it was a period where it was like really bad TV, like really bad. This is early 2000s. It was like all reality TV and nobody knew what they were doing. It was really bad. So I left TV and I went.
Wait, what were you doing in TV?
Producing. So I started my own production company. I was just working on different stuff, other people's projects. So I worked on stuff at BET. I worked on stuff at TV One. I worked at stuff at MTV, Discovery Channel, Food Network, things of that nature. So I was doing that for the most part. And then, when I left, I just went full turkey. I quit cold turkey and DJed full time from like 2006 until now.
Wow. And then how did you get, now how, are you international? Because I just all of a sudden started seeing you in suits and ties and wearing cool hats. I didn't see the ascension. I don't know, like the full grasp and progression. Are you international now? Are you like national? Are you hitting the cities? Like what is the expanse of your audience? How much more famous am I going to get from having you on?
Well, I actually think I'm going to benefit from being on with you. But I am international. I became international DJ back in 2011, I want to say.
Okay.
My first out of the country gig was Turks and Caicos for the One Group. So it was at Bagatelle and did some yacht parties and stuff like that. And then from there, there was more travel. I did Russia, I've done Anguilla, Mexico, a couple other spots. And but now I travel across the country. So I've been traveling, doing it for a while. And the whole, what you spoke of is like how you see me dressed and that being a part of the brand. That started, I want to say back in like 2008. I was really the only one doing it. But social media wasn't what it is now. So the visibility of it was very, if you were at the club or at the party, you saw me. If not, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that since about like 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
So, well.
That's great, man. Where can folks find you? Like, what are you doing now? How are you? I mean, being like a huge part of being a DJ is going around, and this is going to be my final question because I think Bethany just joined us. But where can folks find you? Because I know we're in mid-COVID, and so it's just like, how do we find you? How do we hear your music?
To be honest, if you just follow me on just at DJ CEO, which is really simple, up in the top left-hand corner, at DJ CEO. I mean, that's where you'll pretty much find out where you can find me. I was literally just telling my wife I haven't gone live in a while, only because I've been going live on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
I just never had time to do my own. But I usually go live. I do something called Live from the Living Room.
Yeah.
And it's just, cool, just playing good music, making people feel good. I have that every Thursday night. You can catch me on 108 Soul from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. It's New York Radio 108 Soul. You can download the app and listen.
All right.
And that's it.
That's perfect. So, thank you. Thank you for having the surprise guest homie from Brooklyn.
Hey, brother, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
you.
And
I told you before, I'm proud of you, man. So just keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much, baby. I'm proud of you. Have a good one.
All right, brother.
Peace.
You too, man. Peace.
Well, that was a fun little run, a fun surprise. I think we actually now have Bethany joining us here. So I will collect her as soon as I can. Bethany, if you can you request to be in or do I do it? Look at me learning. I want to do my best to learn some things. In the meantime, let's play a little song. Hey!
What's up? What's up?
What's good?
What's good? We're just grooving, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. What up?
What is up?
Thank you for accommodating my crazy schedule. That's really sweet of you.
Look, hey, thank you for joining the show.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
This is so crazy. I can't believe you're here. First of all, for those who don't know, this is Bethany Brown, amazing singer, songwriter, actor, musician, a million different things. So busy. You're currently busy right now. What happened? Why are you late to my show? I'm very busy. We have a lot of things to do.
Oh, well, you went deep with the research, man. Good on you. Okay? This guy went deep.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was actually... What'd you say?
I looked some stuff up.
You looked some things up, my guy. Okay. I see you. Yeah, I actually do a lot of voice work and animation. And right now, I'm the voice of Shaw Cable across Canada. So I've been doing that for about 2 years. I think, year and a half, 2 years.
Shaw's Cable? What is that?
Shaw Cable is like our cable internet.
Got it.
Yeah, we kind of have two big companies like TELUS and Shaw. And so I do the voice of Shaw.
Okay, and I saw, hold on, I'm going to try and pull up this picture that I saw of you here. What do we got? Hold on. We got, whoops. I planned for this not at all, Bethany.
Not at all, right? You got pictures, you got sound bites. This guy, no planning. It's really off the cuff.
This is you getting hair and makeup right now.
Hair pulled out. Oh, that's my cat.
That's a cat?
Yeah, that's my cat.
Special guest star. What's your cat's name?
Willis.
Willis. Is
yeah,
it
like what you're talking about, Willis.
I was about to say it was a Different Strokes. I was going to make a joke, and it actually is because of Different Strokes.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You're very busy.
Right? It just seems like I'm busy. I'm just busy today, just to, look good or whatever.
I love it. I keep losing you in and out, but that's okay. I'll just vamp because I've done that before. And I'm so good on the fly. I don't know if you know that about me. I think I have to
I heard
restart
that
this.
about you, actually. I think
Have you
Jess
heard
Harmon
that?
told me that about you.
Yes, I love Jess Harmon. So
Because you met on an
so
airplane, right? You're good on the fly. See what I'm saying?
yeah. Oh, she knows.
Those
She knows. So the
puns.
way that for those that don't know, the way that I know you. Hold on, my mic is suddenly not recording. But you know what? This will record and we'll move on. La la la. So the way that I know you is very obtuse. So I met you because it's really weird. So I met Jessica. So you were on the 100, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I met Jessica Harmon, who's also on the 100, on an airplane. She was just looking very relaxed, and we just made instant friends because I think we're both going to Comic-Con or something like that. And then at some point, I knew that you were on the 100 or something, and then I slipped into your DMs and was just like, "Hey, you seem nerdy and interesting. What the hell is the deal?"
Right? Finally, somebody sees me. You know what I'm saying? Finally, someone sees this. Yeah.
You know?
Nerdy and interesting. That's how I describe myself.
Good. Now, okay. Now, you do a myriad of things. Tell me how you got into entertainment.
So I was I think I was like 3 or 4 years old watching Sesame Street, and they had like kids playing the violin, and it was like V is for violin, and I just got obsessed. So I like begged my mom for a whole year if I could play the violin. And then when I was about like 5 or 6, she bought me a violin, and that launched me literally into entertainment, right? So I just started as a musician, and I became a professional violinist when I was about 9. So I was touring around playing and doing gigs.
I used to play the violin.
Yeah. You did?
I did. I played the violin at like a summer camp up until I was like 9. Then I like went and got a franc somewhere and the violin got stolen. But yeah, that was my short life as a violinist.
Wow, I'm sorry I got stolen, my guy, but like that's beautiful. What kind of violin? Do you play classical or jazz or like where were you at?
It was classical. Also, I was 9, so really the limit of my playing was like Mary Had a Little Lamb and Twinkle Twinkle. So probably, yes, very classical.
Yeah.
But yes, your violin experience.
Yeah, no, I did the same, man. Started in the same zone, and then yeah, did classical, did jazz, and then branched off and like did legit all genres of music, almost all genres. I haven't done so much like heavy metal, but like almost everything else.
How many instruments do you play?
I don't know. Like
really?
Yeah. So basically, I say kind of any strings I like. So I played violin, viola, cello in music school, and then we all had to play piano to learn how to like accompany people. And then after that, I like picked up guitar, and bass, stand-up double bass, and like by this time I'm 12, right? And then I picked up alto sax. Yeah, so I just kept picking up instruments. And if ever I get bored or get in trouble, my mom would just buy me a new instrument, and I would just have fun like figuring it out. So now I don't really know how many instruments I play. Like I've played harmonica on TV. I learned it for TV. I've played like the glockenspiel in studio. Yeah, I know, right? I'm just like, whatever instrument, I'm like, yeah, give it to me. Let me try it out. But there's like, I don't play horns, you know, like trumpet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my limit.
My lady plays bassoon. Play bassoon. She's busy. She's her own woman.
Oh darn.
She's Actually, I'll tell you this. I do know that you do a myriad of things. You're right. Here's one of my favorite songs by you. Hopefully the audience can hear this. Hold on, again.
Tokyo, and they have this amazing beverage called umeshu, which is like plum wine. And don't drink it because it's like juice. It is so tasty, and that's basically how I wrote that song.
Really?
Yeah, umeshu, and then we recorded it in Bali, so in Indonesia. and played in clubs in like all over Indonesia and all over like Japan. And then when I got back to Vancouver, they were actually looking for a song, like an original song for that commercial. And that commercial was for like Science World, so for like a science center. And so we linked up this song with that commercial, and it went on to win best song at the Lotus Awards. How dope is that?
That's fucking amazingly dope.
Dope, right? So like a whole bunch of umeshu, and then you win a Lotus Award. Kidding.
You win a lot of awards. You just won an award for theater, outstanding supporting actor for the Vagrant Theater. I think you did a play called Disgraced.
I did, yeah, Disgraced, but I don't think I won. I think I've only been nominated, and we're just
Bullshit.
waiting to see who wins. So
okay, we're waiting.
Yeah, maybe you're a precog and you're letting me know the results, but I don't think you know yet.
I think I might know. So tell me, one, it's amazing that you were in Japan. That's crazy. I'm going to get back into that. What is theater like in Vancouver? What is that like? Because I have a theater company. So like for my little, I have a nonprofit theater company called Ammo Theater. So I'm very much interested in what the theater scene is like in Vancouver.
So this was my very first play. So,
wow.
Yeah, so I don't think I can tell you what the whole scene is like. What I know from my understanding is that, like, for the way I think about it, in film and TV, it's like these little snippets of full stories. And theater's like where you go to, like, be a real actor, you know, to do the real heavy lifting as an actor, like really cut your teeth. And so I had something to prove to myself, you know, thinking, like, I train in theater. And we've got some really wicked, like, companies in that regard that help you with your training. And so I was really, really excited to kind of apply that model to a larger stage in that long form of doing a full play. And so, yeah, from my limited exposure to the theater here, it was one of the best experiences that I've had. Truly.
Good.
It felt like a real workout every single day when you go to rehearsal. All the cast is really stepping up, so then you keep stepping up, and you keep pushing each other to that next level, which is something that sometimes you get on set, but sometimes you just don't have time for. You know, you're just trying to keep your day. So that was really amazing. And then also every night felt so different to make the play out. Like there was no. You know what I mean? Energetic predictability, the audience, that was a whole new vibe. Sometimes they kept laughing, and we're like, yo, that's legit not funny. Like, I'll leave a laugh line for y'all, because obviously, you know, you want to laugh, but like, there were audiences who were so engaged in that way that it felt different every night. So that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I think that's always the craziest thing about theater and doing anything live, like we're doing now, which is like not knowing what's happening. But the beauty of it is that you have to be engaged. You know what I mean? There's no way to just not know what's going on. You have to deal. So after doing that, do you feel like you want to do more theater?
Yeah, I do. It is more exhausting than I knew. You know what I mean? Like, it really is a bit of a marathon. So yes, I want to do more theater, but I also want to really make sure I hold that space and time, because basically I rolled into rehearsals a month late because I was in Guam shooting a movie.
Yes, I love your little baby stunts that you throw out. You're just like, I was in Guam for a little bit, just quick jump to Japan.
You know what I mean?
Just great.
Just drop that in there. Yeah, I was just, shooting this movie with the Air Force in Guam. So, like, legit, I was up in a C-130, like, pushing cargo out of the back of an airplane. And so I was missing rehearsal, and I felt, because it was my first exposure, I was like, I really need to get back and get in it and feel it and, get ensemble with the cast. But they were super gracious with me. Like, we would meet on FaceTime and do what we could. And then, they worked me hard when I got back, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'd like to hold even more space for theater, because you have to kind of carve out that time to do all the rehearsal process and then, put it up once or twice a day. And it's really all day late into the night. So
I'll tell you right now, just in looking, I've done no research at all, but just in looking at you and your myriad experiences, I wonder what inspired you to do all of these things? Because at this point, you've been a soccer star, you've played the violin, you've put out music videos, you've done tours, you've done movies with the Air Force. What inspired you to do all these things, and who are some of the people you looked at that came before you that made you want to maybe go into these different experiences?
So my major inspiration was boredom.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't do so well with that like itchy feeling of like, what am I gonna do next? So I would always like get that feeling, use it as inspiration, and just go in the next direction that like came to mind. So we can call it like advanced adult ADHD or something. And in terms of inspiration, that's a very funny one. So actually, when I was growing up, I was raised Mennonite, so like super Christian, and I didn't have access to pop culture at all. So I literally, didn't hear Michael Jackson until I was 17. Right? This guy shocked. You see what I'm saying? Like, I literally had classical music and then like church music, and that was it.
What does your Mennonite family think of all of this? Like, how do they feel? Like, is it just like, this is freaking weird, or like, how do they feel about this, this business? Because I remember when I joined, my auntie, I come from a religious family, and my auntie was like, my aunt was like, that ain't sanctified, right? And I was like, I don't know how to respond to that.
Because I can just agree in terms of the way I was raised. I'm like, I wasn't raised in that way because they didn't want you to make an idol of yourself, So that was a whole like thing to navigate. But my family's really amazing and really accepting, and like accepting of all of me. They knew I was an artist from the time I was 3. Because I was, playing piano and like parroting my brothers who were taking lessons, and I just really enjoyed, music. And as I got into film and TV, they were kind of like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good fit in terms of having all these different interests, and then playing all different characters who have all these different interests. It just seemed like my mom called it. She's like, I had this dream, Bethany, and you were a funnel. And there was all of these, it's like raining down of all these things you love, and then you found a funnel to like bring it all together. And that's what she called acting for me. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get to do all the things I love to do and practice them, and then play around with other adults and play make-believe and make it all come to reality.
It's amazing to watch. I mean, you really do seem like a funnel, a vessel. Speaking of acceptance and speaking of, playing things close to your heart, how are you? I'm wondering, this is Pride Month. I'm wondering how Pride. Yay. Big ups to the LGBTQ. I got into a thing with my girl because I go like LGBTQ plus because I feel like every day there's a new letter and I can't keep up. Yep. And we were debating, we're like, what's the proper way? And I'm always like, well, you got to go to the person and speak to this and understand and blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking know. I just try and support whoever I'm talking to. How do you handle identity in relation to pride and to supporting as part of being the community? And how do you handle that in relation to your personal life as well as how you put it into your work? Because it seems like a lot of your personal life winds up inspiring your work and the characters that you play.
Yeah, okay, that's a real packed question. So that's a great question. First of all, I
wouldn't. This is the only drink. This is the late night, midday talk show. Shit is getting crazy. It's gonna be silly, weird. I have no idea.
Totally. Yeah, I say LGBTQ plus. I say, there's a number of ways that I refer to the community, and I like the plus because I like how nuanced and intersectional it is getting daily, and so we, learn new ways of respecting each other each day. And that's why I like to add the plus, so that I'm not missing anyone. And I think you're totally right in terms of you have to ask the person who you're talking to, how they identify and how they like to be referred to. Much like I shouldn't come in and assume, how you want me to talk to you. You know what I mean? Because you may have something that feels really good to you and something that feels really terrible to you. And I don't want to say the terrible thing. I want to, vibe with you. So I think that's a really dope way to start. For me, I identify as pansexual, which means like I could fall in love with any of y'all, so none of y'all safe from my love. You know what I mean? It's not really gender specific. It's really the person chemistry. What was the next question about? Identity? Right?
Yeah, how do you handle identity in your real life and in your work? Because it seems like you are inspired in your work to reflect your identity as a musician. I know one of your earlier roles was L Word and all these things.
Yep. And then right now I'm actually playing 2 gay characters, which is like in the shows that I'm on right now. So Charmed, and then also on The Astronauts. And that's really cool because I think, you know, when you can tell a story from like an informed place, and you can tell the story from a place of, there's inherent tension in any telling of a story, especially if it rubs, you know, up against another story that maybe isn't the exact same as somebody else. And so I really like to adventure through those different kinds of tensions. And I feel that we do that really well in film and TV and with scripts. And for me, in Vancouver, it's really mellow. Like, I don't rub up against much tension in terms of my identity, my sexuality, anything like that. It's pretty darn accepting. Like, at one point, our mayor had asked for the LGBTQ plus community to be really visible because people need to get used to it and need to get over themselves, because whatever they're going through, any of their phobias, that's their own stuff, and they got to work through that and, you know, come into 2020 or 2019 or wherever it was. So that was a really cool call to action, you know, just to be visible, accessible, and open for communication and conversation. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people, I just watched a beautiful documentary, I forget the name of it, on Netflix, and it was about the trans community. And they said something like 80% of people have never met somebody who's trans. And that includes trans people. So, you know, if we haven't met anybody, how can we form a relationship with people as humans and normalize, you know, these different things that might feel new to us? So, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I think that's worthwhile. I think it's funny because, you know, I played a character on a show. It was a time travel show, and I find it very empowering. Oftentimes I play characters that are not specifically written for Black people.
Yes.
And so it's very empowering when it actually is, when they actually write to your identity and you can be informed and you show this is why I'm special and why this story needs to be told. One of the things I found interesting is that you played a character, I think, on Rogue, on a show called Rogue, which I think was intended for like an old white man, yes or no?
For Rogue, I think, well, they were open to ethnicities and were, I think, kind of going maybe Asian in terms of the name, but they hadn't solidified it yet. But I did on a Hallmark show go in for an audition for like an old white man. And so it was Mr. Goodall, and I was like, oh man, and like some of the language and the jokes, I was like, I don't know how to make this joke land. You know what I mean? Like, it's just generationally different. So I had to just figure out, problem solve a way and nuance language. And and then ended up booking that. So they just changed it to Ms. Goodall. And, you know, she was a curator, an art curator. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you say it's very accepting here. It's been very cool. I wonder, like, how are you able to, I always wonder about like the hair stuff. Like, as Black actors, we always have to deal with that, particularly here about, every Black actress I know has a horror story about their hair being done on a show by some motherfuckers that don't know how to do their shit. I feel like, and a lot of times, I feel like when we take control, it becomes iconic. You know what I mean? When we use one of these things, it becomes iconic. And I feel like a lot of times you're able to use your hair to inform your character and create these sort of, you know, iconic, you know, gestures and people and characters. Have you brushed up against that? Has that been a thing? Because you've changed. I've seen you have these different looks, and I wonder how much control you're able to have and how much input you're able to have in that way.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So when I first started acting and I was on a CW show, there was a 6-hour-long meeting about my hair and what we could do with my hair, because at that time, this hair was considered unruly. And it wasn't allowed to be on camera at this volume. And so it was, okay, what volume could we have it, or do we have to straighten my hair? And I hadn't straightened my hair before. So that was a whole new experience for me. And in the beginning, I felt, you know, you want to just fit in and you're so thankful for the work that you're like, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'll do it. I'll totally do it. And I didn't realize how much that was like compromising my identity. And, you know, the message that might say, I didn't even think about that at that time. And then as I started to think about that and integrate my personality and my identity into like character, so we're creating a very believable character, I would actually change my hair going into the audition. So I would be presenting in a very specific way, saying this character, this is how they would present themselves. Because it says something totally different walking down the street. Like me with this hair, everybody's smiling at me and their hands are coming out. They want to get them right in the curls, and I'm like, still attached to my head, right? So it's a whole different thing than when I straighten my hair. People are like, they get more stern with me.
Yeah.
Right? So I really like playing with that in character. And going back to a project like Rogue, I just tied my hair back like real messy because the character was so like no BS, that she doesn't think about hair and makeup and all that kind of stuff. Her body is a utility. It's like a tool to keep peace. You know what I mean? Like she's a detective, so she's legit there to do one job, not to have the hair and the makeup and the clothes and the this and the that. So, and then I played, from The Flash, where like legit a blue blunt.
Love the Flash look.
That was so.
That was crazy. What was that about?
Oh man, so I had this idea that the character was kind of like Cardi B. So
yes,
that was my inspiration. And I came in with this slick ponytail and I put like full extension. So like a high pony and like really straight down my back. And I was wearing this kind of leather, really tight dress and had a lot of attitude. So from there, when I went into the hair and makeup test and into the wardrobe test, like they presented, I tried on 12 different wigs. And when we got to that blue one, I was like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is totally it. And then when it blended with the whole, like, blue jumper, the kind of Marines looking jumper, I was like, this is so next level, so beyond what I even could imagine, but still in, like, line with that whole vibe, and, like, the character. Yeah. So that was a full collaboration. But a lot of times I do come up with the hair idea or hair story and present that right away in the audition, because I find sometimes people have a difficult time imagining what it could look like.
Exactly.
Any other way?
Yeah, exactly.
For them. Yeah, and it's fun for me.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% get that. It's wonderful to feel empowered, and a lot of times we feel empowered through our hair and in our identity. You're in Vancouver, yeah? Yeah. How is the Black Lives Matter movement over there? How is that translating? Speaking of identity and speaking of hair and black hair, how is that translating overseas?
So in Vancouver,
or across the border, excuse me.
Yeah. Most of the marches and when we speak out, it's really peaceful, and for the most part, the police officers are holding streets, so it's really safe, and are holding this space so our voices can be heard, and so that our voices can be really listened to. Because if we're, in a fight, flight, freeze, I'm in a fight mode, it's really difficult to actually hear and truly listen to somebody and take it in. So it's a real different vibe. And generally it's a lot of attentive. We are all, listening to what's being presented. It's, in terms of race and racial tension, it tends to be more nuanced. We're really polite in Canada. And so it's kind of like this sugar coating on everything. And it's this, let's make sure everyone's okay and everything is okay. But underneath there can be some old stories. Like, for example, that I didn't think about why they would need to straighten my hair on the CW. Because there's a whole history of that, right? And that, people not being allowed to wear Afro hair in schools and things like that, that's still happening. I didn't even think about that because it's like playing in that sugar coating of how do we make everything okay and let's just do this wonderful job together, and so thankful. And then as I started to embed myself more in my identity and with Black Lives Matter, I knew I had to start wearing my curls and wearing my afro in media so the kids rolling up next, they can see that and see that that's acceptable. You are absolutely allowed to own your hair and own your power and be on TV.
Yeah.
Right?
It's beautiful. I was talking to a friend of mine. There was some quote where it was like, wouldn't it be great if Christianity made racist people feel as bad for being racist as they do gay people for being gay?
You know, I'm gonna let that hang in the air for a second. That's yes, right?
You know?
That's for me. I'm like, anyone who's struggling with an ism, you know, that's a them problem.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
That is not on the victim who you're currently victimizing. No, that's a bully problem.
That's a bully problem.
Right?
That's a bully problem. Can I tell you, I love you. I love how strong you are. I love your identity. I've asked about you, right, in preparation, because you're literally the first guest I've had on that I didn't know.
You're so cute. You're so sweet. Look at this.
It's great. And there's nothing but positive stuff about you. Can I tell you? Like, I was trying to find some dirt, you know what I mean? A buddy of mine worked with you on Charmed, speaking of, and said just how he directed the first episode that you did, my buddy Jeff Bird. Yeah, and he talked about how great you were, how easily you won the room over. And so I guess with that, I want to know, how many shows are you almost always on? Like, I feel like you're on 5 different shows that may or may not coming back. And 2, what is going on with you and Mel? Are you guys, what is happening? Where's that relationship going? If you guys don't know, there's something happening. There's brewing. You came in there in the bar, ready to drop that science on her. Yep. What's going on there? What's that?
Okay, I want to bounce back to Jeff Bird, because that was a really cool interaction. So what happened was, I auditioned a character, and you know, she's hot, sexy, you know, like it just kind of played in that zone, like in here. You know what I mean? Not giving too much. And it was funny because when I came in and did the scene, it wasn't landing on Mel. Like, Mel was like bored, and I was like, excuse me? Okay. And so me and Jeff had a little chat, and I'm like, what do I do, man? Because as an actor, I like to feel the effect that I have on the other actor in the scene, in the moment. I want to ride it like a wave together, where we're building it together, and we don't know where it's going to go, right? So him and he literally was like, dude, throw it away and have all the fun. Like, make it a joke and realize it's not landing, and then backpedal and try and get out of the scene, because she's not interested, right? Yeah. And like, because it's literally my character's hitting on her, and she's just like, take it or leave it, right? And she has her own story as to why she's that way. So legit, I was like, all right. And he's like, have all the fun. You can change the lines, like, to, you know, tell all the jokes. So I went in and I did it. And she literally lightened up and was watching me like flounder around and like make a ton of mistakes and be like, I'm going to go, because obviously, you know, I read the signs wrong, and I'm going to go. And so she's like, no, it's okay, right? And I was like, boom, we got it. Like, that's the character, because that's how it clicked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the spark. So that was the beginning. And then, like, shortly thereafter, her and I's character, like, the next episode, we're in bed together. So, you know, that's where that relationship is at. I don't know what you want me to tell you. No, I'm kidding. So the end, so season finale, I say finale because we lost our last 2 episodes due to COVID.
Yeah.
And
it still made a great finale.
Right. All rising action-wise, it was all tensions were rising. And the last episode that we saw, Mel and Ruby were kind of like at odds, because like Ruby's not really into the whole like witch thing, because it's just traumatic. Like, you know, it's people dying all the time and fighting for your life every day, and you know. So she kind of got out of that whole lifestyle, and Mel's really in it. That's her calling. So they weren't sure if that was like an absolute impasse in their relationship. So that's truly where we're at. Now, I can't drop any breadcrumbs for what's going to happen next, because that's all, you know, that's all showrunner biz. They need to keep that, you know, keep y'all coming back. So come back, season 3.
I got it.
Right? You
So you're coming back. Okay, all right. I'm gonna hold. If not, I'm gonna write a letter to everyone at the CW. I'll even go to the Riverdale set and rouse them and tell them,
yes,
fight for Ruby.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get.
You know what I mean?
Ruby. Riverdale. We got to get here for Ruby.
We got to look out for you. Okay, so tell me this. What's the next big thing? I know you're doing stuff like Legos, your voices in Legos. I know you have music happening. What's the next big thing that you're excited about?
The next big thing coming out, I think, well, it depends on, when everything gets released due to COVID. So I'm super, super excited about the new show, The Astronauts, Ron Howard and Imagine. So it's
he has a pretty good track record.
You know what I mean? It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
He's done okay. Yeah, and it's amazing. The writing, phenomenal. The story.
What's the premise?
Basically, as per what trailer that's been released, there's like some cute kids.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to see what I can say. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
I see you almost saying things. Just spill it all.
Right. Yeah. Some cutie kids, and they end up sneaking onto a spaceship and getting launched into space, and so we got to deal with that situation.
All right. Well, thank you for clarifying that about the astronauts. Hopefully, this you and this upstart Ron Howard guy will have some success here.
It looks amazing. It looks phenomenal. It's actually one of the best looking things I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. This is what I want to do. Do you have any instruments around you?
Yeah.
Can you play any?
Can I play any instruments that are around?
Yeah. Can you play the instrument around you? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I can probably play the instruments around me. What am I
going to
play though?
I don't know. I'm inspired because I saw a music video where you're like 3 or 4 people and you're playing all these instruments, and I was like, I would like to see this.
Oh.
You know that meme where it's like, there's that meme of I'm blanking on her name. She's a great black woman. But remember Precious, the mom from Precious?
Yeah.
And there's a meme where she's just, I would like to see that. So that's how I feel. I'm inspired by that right now. If you play anything, I would consider it a joy.
Let's see what we have here.
Whatever you got. I wore a suit for you, by the way.
I know, you got all dressed up. I was going to dress up for you, but then I literally sprinted straight in here.
Please, it's enough that you're here. Yes, Monique. Thank you, sir. Jesus.
What happened?
Someone said it's Monique. I totally forgot. My producer is passing me a question. Someone wants, okay, this is what we'll do. Someone, JUDFS, they said, what is your favorite things about being an actress? Maybe you could do a song about your favorite things about being an actress.
Let me think about what's my favorite thing about being an actress, though.
Mm-hmm. Or whatever you want. You can answer the question in your own time.
Yeah, because I think my favorite thing about being an actress is truly connecting. Is just connecting with other people, connecting in story, letting people have a window into a world that they would never have access to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? That's truly my favorite thing about being an actor and acting. And I know that, for a lot of other people, it's getting famous and it's, but I was, again, raised so Christian that I'm like, that's a whole other thing that I got to grapple with, and, this idea of losing your privacy and stuff. So I think my number one thing is truly the craft of it.
Beautiful.
And playing around, goofing around, having fun.
Yep.
So I haven't played instruments in a while because my fingernails are so long.
Mm-hmm.
And this song is called One People, or For the People. And I wrote it, I was scoring a documentary, and in the documentary it was talking about a lot of atrocities that, Joseph Kony at the time was committing.
Yes.
Yeah, right? And he had kind of wrangled these child soldiers, and I was watching this information. It was just so hard-hitting because so many of those kids looked exactly like me. And I was like, I could just as soon be one of these children holding a semi-automatic rifle. And, we have this saying, there, but by the grace of God go I, where you truly put yourself in somebody else's shoes and go, wow, there's challenges to grapple with everywhere, and we can't truly understand it until we're in it. And so I just found, like, in that moment, the oneness of people, you know, how we each could be one another if we're willing to truly put ourselves in someone else's shoes. So I created this song for kind of the credit roll. I'll see if I can remember it.
Sure.
I wanna sing the voice of people who've not been heard. I wanna stand with the people, your people, my people. I wanna stand every day, stand up every day. 'Cause your people are my people, we are but one people. One people, one people, one people, one people, one people, one people. One people, one people, one people, one people, one people, one people, one people. So yeah, that's that one. Cool.
Thank you so much. Bethany, you're freaking amazing. We're going to play the final round of this show, which is I try to sneak in before my phone dies or the show gets cut off. Your favorite things, literally your favorite thing about anything, be it tangible, intangible, be it a movie, a person, an experience, skydiving, anything, literally your favorite thing in this moment.
My favorite thing in this moment was climbing Mount Fuji all night long and then watching the sunrise when you get to the top. So the sky is entirely black, and then you see it like fracture in like fuchsia, and like these sunlit fingers like start to raise the darkness up, and you get to see like all the colors of sunrise, like the reds and the purples and the pinks and the yellows and the oranges, and how it all like smears and melts together. Just entirely remarkable. And this is after you've climbed in the freezing cold up shaly rocks, like slipping. You've got like a little light on your forehead and a stick that like at every level there's a little hut, and you can get udon, and then you also get your stick branded at every level on the way up, like level 7 and 8 when you get up to the very top. So this is climbing all night long, and it's cold and it's hard, and the oxygen is getting limited, and then you get to the top. And the reward that is entirely breathtaking. That's my favorite thing right now.
That is absolutely amazing. I want to thank you for being a part of my show. I want to thank you for sharing your time amidst this crazy world we're living in. I want to thank you for being the very first guest that I haven't met in person and taking this ride with me.
Oh man, that's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day and a great life and a great everything else.
You too, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a fun show, right? I think I did okay.
You say you want it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you need it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you want it, but you don't want to give it to me. You say you need it, but you